Okay. Hey guys, and we're back into the game, and we're about to get started with our first game between Newcastle and Nottingham University. These guys are fairly high elos. It's going to be a good game. That's seeds 8 and seeds 9 respectively. It's going to be really close. We should have a good game for you here. We've been looking a little bit into the players, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about what we think we're going to see. Space, I mean, lead me out here. Looking at Newcastle, their first player, Money Dix, brilliant name by the way. What do we know about him?
Anyway, first of all, we're going to actually get into the pick and ban phase. We finally managed to get in. We have everything sorted out. So, actually, I'm going to ask you the question, okay? Because I like to ask the questions here. What do we know about Money Dix right now?
Oh well, from what I saw, I think he's a Gold 5 support player, or especially maybe for this team in particular. Probably why he's first pick. A lot of people tend to like to stick their support player on the first pick because it means that it's probably the least countable role in the game, maybe except for jungle. And we know that he likes to sort of play a variety of sports. He kind of brings out all the ones that are currently quite popular in the meta at the moment, like Thresh, Leona, Fiddle. I've seen him play a bit of Lulu, which is kind of been phasing out a little bit towards the end of Season 3, but still a very strong support, especially with people like Vayne and people like Caitlyn, who can get a good amount of damage off when you get the slow. But we'll save talking about the team members until we get to our 3-minute delay here, because we are going straight into picks and bans, and we have a Varus ban. And from what we saw from the Nottingham AD carry player, he played a lot of Varus.
Yeah, they did, and actually, so did Newcastle. They quite like their Varus as well. What I called was, when I was sitting in the lobby, was one of them was going to ban Varus. Which one was going to ban Varus? And it seems a way they don't want either team to have this pick. And we have an Orianna and Lissandra coming out as well. Now, as you've seen, Orianna's been a very potent champion. She's good in solo queue, but she's very contested in high yellow play as well as in ranked 5v5s. Even in Worlds, she was picked up as well, if you noticed in the finals as well. So, Lissandra, lots of CC as well, teamfight orientated champion. We got Fizz, Assassin, one of the highest contested picks in the mid lane as well. Israel, that right there is as a target ban as well towards Newcastle.
Yeah, to be honest, I think a lot of the bans coming up from Nottingham are target bans, because from what I saw from Flameo Hotman, who is the mid laner, I think, for Newcastle, he played a lot of Orianna recently, and his most played champion in ranked with an incredible win rate is Lissandra. So I think they're trying to ban out the mid lane here, and then picking up the Ezreal ban as well. But you've got to remember, from not banning these champions, they've left open a couple of things what we've been more used to seeing banned in the current meta. Ahri is still up, Kassadin is available, Shen has been left available. From doing these target bans, you may be putting them out of their comfort zone, but you're leaving up a lot of the more classically overpowered, maybe champions that are more overpowered in this current state of the game. What do you think about that, Space? Because personally, I think leaving Shen, Ahri, Kassadin up is not a wise decision, but they have managed to pick up the Corki on the counter.
It's quite different when you think about it, when the person's champion pool is so strong with these kind of team orientated picks like Orianna, Lissandra. Sometimes it is very worth it to ban out these champions that they're very comfortable on. Leaving an Ahri open, but also leaving the Kassadin open, leaves a lot of different counter picking opportunities. For example, if you were to pick Kassadin, there's many different counters you can have towards him so that you can shut him down. There's also the 2v1 lane that you can also use to shut him down. It would come at Ahri. Now, Ahri has a few problems with certain champions. Zed is a very strong champion. I actually can see him getting picked right now for mid lane, it seems. That's going to be very strong. And
from my research, I've seen that Flameo tends to favour Orianna, Lissandra, Kha'Zix, Zed, Kassadin, and Ahri. So he has picked up one of the champions he's useful on. So it doesn't. I think he'll be picking up something he will be quite good with. Ken by Dong picking up the Thresh, and Ahri being given over to Nottingham. I've heard that Nottingham's mid laner is fairly beastly, so we should be seeing some good plays from the Ahri. I always like to see an Ahri who can rock her Spirit Rush and go into charms really well. I know a few players that I've seen do it, and it's really impressive, especially when you're going down for those ganks. And a Corki Thresh lane, though, I mean, I like Thresh right now. He's really very strong. But do you think Corki and Thresh is one of the better lanes, or do you think Corki Leona, that was really strong back in the end of Season 2, and has come back into favour now that Corki's come big again with the new Triforce? What do you think about this lane? Do you think they're going to have any problems?
Well, it really depends on what lane Newcastle are going to pick right here. It's very much Corki and Thresh are going to be quite strong with burst. If Thresh can land out that hook, use his Flay and get a lot of burst down onto Caitlyn, or if that's what they're going to choose, then they're going to get off a lot of lane pressure. Although we can see Caitlyn and Lulu being hovered over there. This could be a possible 2v1 although Teemo's getting shown, but that's not a problem. Seems like they're going to go for Caitlyn Lulu. They might actually do a 2v1 right now. It would be very, very strong if they were to do that, because getting that tower down very early with Caitlyn Lulu, it's a very quick tower. And they do have the Shen. Shen is extremely strong in 2v1 scenarios. The taunt is extremely strong. If he were to shadow dash and catch the support or the AD carry under the tower, that could be a first blood right there. It's very, very big.
When you often see Caitlyn and Lulu going in that 2v1 lane, because of the pushing potential they have with Glitter Lance and Filter the Peacemaker, one of those can clear an entire creep wave when comboed properly. And they usually go for those big early turret pushes, but you've got to remember that those turrets have had that armor buff until 8 minutes, so until 8 minutes they have a very high armor value. It decreases slowly over time. That was in patch 3.10, I believe. So it's harder now to do the 2v1 push. It's still possible, but you won't be taking the 3 to 4 minute turrets you used to. However, Renekton has been picked up by Nottingham. He is also extremely strong in 2v1. He has that big long stun, especially if it's over 50% Fury. He has the extra stun and the extra attack on that stun cast, as well as Pull the Meek, giving him that health regen when he does it across minions, and Slice and Dice for the escape, as well as Dominus. If it's kept to that point in the lane, he has Dominus to juke and maybe possibly bait under tower. So both lanes picking up strong 2v1s. However, it does look like Omega is hovering over a teleport, and it has gone into game and teleport has been picked up. What are you expecting to see here? Because now we can kind of talk about what we're going to think to see in the tactics, because they are going into the game right now. Well, what are you going to call the 2v1? I'm going to say that Nottingham are going to call them out on their 2v1 and going to force the 2v2, and I think we're going to see a top lane 2v2 top lane.
They really do want a 2v2 here. Corki and Thresh are very strong right now, and having Corki on a Triforce, a lot of burst, a lot of damage. Thresh can catch out Lulu or Caitlyn if they get caught out of position, and that's them. If they can get a gank, maybe top lane, then they can push down a turret early, then they can rotate down to bottom lane, which they can then exert pressure. If they do indeed try and 2v2 in the bottom lane, then that's very good for Nottingham, because then if they can get any advantage because of the way that Thresh and Corki are, they're much more aggressive and much more prone to being able to force Caitlyn and Lulu out of the lane due to their aggression. Could see early drakes happening here.
Yeah, and Omega has picked up the Shen. Now, Shen is one of his most played champions in ranked. He's very, very good with it, and his recent match history has shown that he's won most of his games. I'm expecting to see a guy who knows when to pop his ultimates, knows when to use them aggressively, and knows when to use them defensively, and that's the good key to a Shen. If a Shen knows how to do his aggressive and defensive plays, it makes a good lot for the team, especially in comboing with maybe Lulu ultimate onto herself, or even the Zed using his shadow to get into a position for team fights. We could see some really good plays coming out here. Shame there's no Twitch, because would have been interesting to see the old stealth bomb submarine that TSM came up with, which was ulting onto a stealth Twitch, but it's going to be good either way. Renekton is going to have to win his lane early to stay viable, I believe, in this team. And if it goes towards the late game, I'm going to have to give this over towards Newcastle. They've got the better team, I think, in my opinion. Vi scales incredibly well. Shen scales incredibly well. Zed is one of the most potent AD casting mid laners you could have in the game, just because he has that bonus AD from his W. He can reach heights of maybe 400 to 500 AD if you build him with that sort of direction in mind. And Caitlyn just has that 650 range all game, which gives us the ability to position particularly well. I mean, Caitlyn as an AD carry doesn't have the best stats per level as you would expect from others, so she's not one of these hyper carry AD carries. She doesn't have percentage health based damage or a self attack speed buff, but she has that range, so positioning is that much easier for her. And positioning in this day and age, as Double Lift put it, is extremely important for AD carries. They're having to walk around and position themselves in teamfights more than they ever had before because of the league of gap closing bruisers right now. That's what I think about Newcastle. What do you think about Nottingham? What are they going to do here to try and get the win?
Nottingham have to push objectives really early. They've got to try and get in about it, get the objectives down, and hopefully they can just get in about the other team, try and get the early towers, the early drakes, and just push an advantage. They do have Corky on Triforces, like on the Triforce, sorry, and they've got things like Thresh's Hook. They got Elise for the early catches. It's going to be very, very good to see what they can do early game, but they can't delay it till the late game. Shen on split pushing. You got Zed for assassinations. Caitlyn, very strong late game, and also a very strong tower pusher, along with Lulu, and you have Vi for initiates. I believe that Newcastle do have the advantage when it comes to team fights late game. Although the early game, for the skirmishes, I believe that Nottingham would come out on top on that.
Yeah, I think Nottingham have this early game advantage with the Corky, with the Elise, who does good amount of early game damage, as well as the Renekton, who is probably one of the better AD bruisers in the game at that point in the game. It depends how he builds, to be fair, as well, but I would expect him to build tanky as well as Elise. 2 tanks on the team never hurt anybody. And Ari obviously has the potential to catch out and do incredible amounts of burst damage. With the new DFG, Ari has actually become a bit more potent in the late game. She used to be that she fell off pretty hard towards then, because no one used to build DFG on her, but obviously X-Pack 8 making that incredibly popular, building it as first item. But against the Zed, I'd be expecting her to rush Sonya's. Do you agree there?
As a fellow mid laner, it really does depend on how far ahead you get in game itself, because if you manage to get a snowball on top of Zed, which can be extremely, extremely hard, then yeah, DFG rush, it means that you have that much more, you have assassination potential, especially against like the jungler. Vi's really strong in the jungle when it comes to dueling. If, let's say, it hits level, when you hit like level 8 and Vi really wants to, come mid a lot, Elise and Ari can easily set up a counter gank and push right in for a kill.
Yeah, we've just got a pause coming out here, guys. It looks like we've got a lag and FPS issues for Nottingham. It happens with the current state of EU West. It's a bit of a problem, but he is going to reconnect soon. Hopefully, we'll be getting underway. This gives us a little bit of time to talk about level 1. Who do you think is going to have a level 1 engage right here? Shen has not yet leveled anything up. Are you thinking they may go for an invade with the taunt?
I really do think that Shen will be good for a level 1, although personally he doesn't want to level Shadow Dash first, because then that gives him a lot of that early harass pressure off top lane. So they're wanting to not have that level 1 invade. They want to defend their own jungle, get some vision out early game so that they can set up, so that they can start to get farmed early and maybe possibly make something happen mid. On the other side is that they want to have basically Ari wants to be able to get some early farm and get ahead with the way that their team is. They want to try and force those skirmishes early. So level 1 they're hoping to be aggressive, I believe, and just try and force something and get a first blood. Even if it was a Corky or Elise or Ari, very, very strong to get a first blood on them and push that advantage.
Yeah, it looks like we're having some serious issues from Denex, so I've just picked up from the chat that this could be a bit of a long pause. Now, this is going to have to give us a bit of time to talk about the general sort of movements of the game, what we're going to seeing in terms of tactics from the teams. I don't want to give away too much, because if I talk about it too much, then teams might pick it up because of the length of the pause. He has reconnected, but I'm not sure we're going to be going underway, because I have heard from Twitch chat that it's going to be a bit weird. I'd be expecting the blue side, which is Newcastle, to be going in for an early pressure on the red buff of Elise, because if you take away the Elise's red buff, you actually take away a large part of her damage potential in the early game, because her spiderlings do apply the red buff, as well as her increased attack speed that she gains, which uses Skittering Frenzy, which is her W in her spider form. So if they go and take that away from her, they may put themselves in a good advantage to will decrease her jungle pressure to an extent, because Elise has quite good early jungle pressure. She does take that cocoon fairly early on, usually level 3, and does try to look for those good ganks, because the cocoon into repel is a good way of gap closing and stopping down someone in the lane. Does look like we have another disconnect from the AD carry. Yeah, we just need to, we're going to rearrange the champions in the overlay for you guys. We'll make sure that we've got top on top, don't worry, we will do it. Yeah, we're just going to sort it out for you guys. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to see some good plays early on. I'd like to see this to be an interesting game. I think post 6 it's going to be in favour of Newcastle, so I'm hoping that if Nottingham get into their stride, they'll be making these plays before 6, before Shen has the chance to do this kind of thing, as well as before Corky gets his ability to outpoke the Caitlyn with his rockets. Again, it'll be interesting to look at the jungle styles as well. Vi and Elise have similar clear speeds. I'd probably give the clear speed over to Elise just because she has her spiderling damage as well as the execute potential from her venomous bite. We are possibly looking at a remake here, guys. It depends on how long the pause is going to have to be. I'm just getting in contact with some of the team members. Space, what do you think, if this game does go on, what do you think we're going to be seeing for global pressuring of objectives? Which team has the better objective siege potential?
Early game, the Nottingham do have the potential and the opportunities to have early objective control. Even if you do see a Caitlyn and Lulu wanting to push a tower maybe early in a 2v1 scenario, you've got Elise, you got Thresh, you got Corky and Ari. All of them have some kind of burst damage or CC, so they'll be able to catch someone out, and as soon as they catch someone out, bang, objective. They need to push an objective. If they get Drake or even they manage to get a double kill, they can instantly get a Drake and maybe even towers. That'll be a huge push in an objective gold all over the map, and they want to be able to try and get a dragon before 6 so that Shen is not going to be a nuisance. He does have TP, so Renekton won't be able to follow due to him having Ignite instead of TP. So they're probably going to see about having Shen up in the top lane, and if Shen does TP down with either his Stand United or his teleport, Renekton's going to get that free farm and push the tower down, or try to at least. With his Call the Meek, his Slice and Dice, going to try and get some good levels and some good gold, and try and get that tower down to punish Shen for leaving lane.
Yeah, we'll put the colorblind mode on in a minute, guys, for you. Sorry if anyone that's having problems reading anything. The overlays unfortunately can't be changed from colorblind mode, but we'll just give it a go. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about what's going to happen now here, guys, because we have covered a lot of things. We do know that Newcastle have the advantage in the late game, so in terms of team fight potential, I think they've got a better sort of lockdown. They've got the Shen Taunt, which can hit across multiple targets. Vi's Assault and Battery can suppress any target that she wishes, and she actually has quite a big cast range on that. Combined with her Vault Breaker, she can usually single out an AD carry, even if they use their gap closer. We also have Zed's Death Mark. That's a completely brutal assassination tool, as well as Caitlyn with her ace in the hole to finish things up. And Lulu also has Wild Growth, so if anyone does get in trouble, she's got that there. And they probably picked the Lulu away so that they couldn't try and counter the Zed, because Lulu does have that ability to counter the Zed with her ultimate, giving her that anyone on the team the extra health that does get caught by the Death Mark. But again, that does depend on how far Zed gets ahead in the game.
This is very true. Another support for just to be an anti-assassin is Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks has a 3-second fear along with that silence, and that's a long time for an assassin to be immobilized and not being able to cast his spells for. And you won't see Zed picking up Merc Treads till quite a lot, like a lot longer than maybe, I don't know, 12, 13 minutes. If he does roam bot lane, that would be an instant fear and silence, and he wouldn't be able to do a thing if Fiddlesticks were to play it right. Although we do see a Thresh, so they do wanting to go for objectives early, and they do want to try and catch people out and push an advantage with that.
It looks like the guys are wanting to possibly remake. I haven't heard anything particularly from them, the whispering. We're getting a lot of it in chat right now, guys. If we do remake, I'm going to apologise for the delay. It's nothing we could do. Everyone knows the EU West is a pile of dong at the moment. It has been incredibly buggy this last few weekends. It's hard now because I think that if we get to the mid game and at least it's tanky enough with that ancient gun, I'm Renekton has picked up maybe a Sunfire Cape, which against this team you're going to be wanting to.
Yeah.
I think that they'll have the advantage because what you got to remember here is that it's so easy for it's so easy for Elise and Renekton to itemize casters, itemize their armor against the team that Newcastle have, because armor is really cheap and armor synergizes with the Renekton so well. You've got to remember that Dominus, his level 6 ability pumps out magic damage in an area effect, and then combined with the Sunfire Cape, giving you an extra 40 magic damage per second, he'll be doing a lot of just passive magic damage while standing there. So it's going to be slightly easier for Nottingham to itemize against their team, whereas I think Nottingham have the advantage in the fact that they've got an AP jungler, an AP mid laner, a quite heavy AD top laner, and then they have a sort of hybrid AD carry. So I think in terms of defensive itemization, Nottingham have the advantage here. What do you think, Space?
We're actually going to get back into the game now. We're actually going to resume. So welcome to Summoner's Rift, and we're going to start the game now.
Yeah, so here we go. Level 1 tactics positively coming out. We have Shen and Vi and everyone moving up towards red buff, but Thresh has thrown down a 3-minute ward. Doesn't want to get that taken away, and it doesn't look like Nottingham responding and going straight for the red buff of Vi. This is a bit of the old Reddit switcheroo. We've got a blue red buff Duke out from Newcastle, but it does look like they're moving up round. They're going to go and counter that wall by moving up through the top tri-bush. Very clever tactic, and it does look like Caitlyn is going to walk straight past. Is this?
Oh, we could possibly have a first blood here. The charm lands, the hook lands, and that's first blood to Corky.
Oh,
huge.
God, he's going to go back. He's going to get another longsword, and he's going to dominate this lane if he plays it right. Caitlyn not in a good position. It looks like Lulu's going to get caught out too. Thresh
and Lulu's gone down as well. Surely.
Wow, and that's
another Corky kill.
Oh my word! Good luck to that bot lane. I just think that was incredibly negligent of the Caitlyn right there, and I don't like to say that word. They just kind of just didn't expect them to be there, and they walked through an area which was extremely dangerous to walk through. Really well played from Nottingham though there. A bit of an up and down switch. What is going on here in this top lane? It doesn't look like they're going for a buff early on. They're possibly going for an early kill on the Renekton, but the buff has already spawned. Shen is going to lose a load of experience here. Renekton is going to get caught out. Is Shen going to use the Shadow Dash? Doesn't look like he's got it up. He's only got his key strike, so he's not going to just wander away. And that's a red buff going over to Vi, but wow, the amount of XP that Shen is going to lose and the amount of XP that Zed is going to lose, I just don't think that's worth it. What do you think, Space?
Well, if you look at it right here, Renekton's actually going to sit in the tri-brush and use his Ruthless Predator to try and get some damage off. Both of them are actually just lost the first minions in top lane. If you actually look up to top lane right now, you would see that the first three minions were actually lost for either side top lane. That's a lot of experience, but it is quite level, and right now, as you can see, Renekton's got 2 assists over Shen, so he is going to be able to come back with that little bit more items.
Yeah, and he's also picked up a bit of XP from those first 2 kills. And to be honest, I think that does give Renekton the early level 2, and he has just hit level 2. Shen is just going to follow it up now, so there's not going to be any early all-ins from this Renekton. He has started a Doran shield. Probably one of the more odd item choices versus Shen. Shen does a lot of harass with his Vorpal Blades, which is magic damage, which Doran's shield does not actually counter against. In this bot lane, however, Corky has gone back and picked up double Dorans, opting not to go for that early longsword into the phage. Just going to pick up another Dorans for the extra health and the extra AD, just trying to get a bit of damage down. Looks like they really wanted to cap this bot lane though. At least it's coming down. Thresh is going to land a hook onto the Lulu. He's going to get caught out by the Cocoon, and at least he's going to pick up the kill with the red buff fade. And I just think that this bot lane is getting dumped on right now, and they're going to have a really hard time. The gold lead at 3 minutes is 1.7k.
That's a huge gold lead early, and it's also on the right people. 2 kills on Corky, 1 kill on the Elise. That's exactly where you want all the gold to go.
Really, really good start for Nottingham right here. Really showing why they're one of the top seeds in this tournament. And Newcastle's slightly underperforming right at the start right here. Probably a bit put off by the pause that we had going on, but nothing we can do. EU West is a little bit like that. We will turn up the in-game sounds for you guys if you like. We are hearing that they're a little bit quiet. We'll get on to that straight away. So yeah, I mean, right now, top lane winning out. Shen being out CS by Renekton by like double. So Renekton's doubled Shen CS right now. Caitlyn is so far behind. She's getting completely zoned in this minion wave. Shen, Thresh and Corki are level 3, whereas Lulu is still level 1. They need to be really careful of getting caught out by hooks right here, but Corki is currently 2 kills up on the Caitlyn. And, well, around 10 CS. So he's got a good fair gold lead just by himself right there. And the ward coverage from the Lulu and the Caitlyn is just not good enough right now. There just isn't enough wards to cover up the entire map, and if Elise tries to go for another tower dive again, they're going to be caught out really hard.
Definitely. As you can see, there is no wards bot lane right now, so Elise can actually go around by going through the Wraith area where Vi is right now, and go behind the turret. Once Elise does have a golem, she will be able to do that.
Onto the Zed. Zed's getting taken pretty low. The red buff is ticking on. He jukes out the cocoon. Got the charm lands, and Ari's going to pick up the kill with her Foxfire. Really well played right there. Elise is doing some serious work over the map. Vi opting to play Meteor style jungle, which is I'm just going to farm my way up and try and become relevant in the mid game, which, to be honest, probably one of the better things to do right now. Thresh lanterning that brush just to check that Vi isn't there, but she is currently sitting in the tri-bush. Is going to back off right now. She's level 5, down compared to the Elise, who is also level 5, but she has picked up some experience on lane as well as that kill. Vi needs to rush 6 and start making some plays with Shen, go for some double ganks down that bot lane.
And here we are, we're getting to this point in where you can, as you can see, mid lane has an advantage, jungle has an advantage, and so does Corki. This is very, very scary for Newcastle right now. When Zed was in that mid lane getting ganked, he should have just burned his flash. That was him thinking he could possibly get away, although, you know, burning that flash really should have happened, and that would have stopped him from dying and giving Ahri that really easy, you know, kill in mid lane. So that's going to be really hard for Zed to come back to if Ahri and Elise push that advantage and go for him again.
Yeah, Ahri actually picking up that Seeker's arm card straight away. It's going to give her a really good advantage against the Zed in the mid lane, who picked up a Vamp Scepter next to his Doran's Blade. But that extra armor is going to be really, really good for Ahri. If Zed's running any armor penetration, it will be countering those runes right now. If he's not, he'll just be doing all out less damage. So really decent pickup right there. Doesn't look like she's going to rush the Deathfire Grasp and maybe she gets some more kills and then opts to finish Deathfire Grasp before her Zhonya's. But right now, opting to go for that Zhonya's, and once she does finish that Zhonya's, Zed's ultimate is going to be doing, well, absolutely diddly squat. Because once Zed procs that death mark, you can Zhonya's out of the damage, so you don't get any damage from it at all. Ahri just taking a bit of poke from the Zed, using his shadow to get these hurricanes across. Right now, though, Caitlyn is being completely zoned. 35 CS, she's doing alright to be keeping up, but she's so far behind on levels compared to the Thresh and the experience in terms of Thresh. Corki is going to hit 6 fairly soon. Yeah, Corki's going to hit 6 fairly soon, whereas Caitlyn's pretty much only just hit 5, and Lulu right now is level 3. So she's really far behind, but she has been caught out a few times.
Yeah, it's getting really scary for Caitlyn right now. Corki hitting 6 and getting those rockets out and having Phosphorus Bomb leveled up quite far now. It's going to be really scary. She does have Barrier and Flash available, and Lily does have Exhaust and Flash, so they can get away from the initial fight, possibly. Although, when they get burned, going to be extremely scary for Caitlyn.
Shen is now level 6. Vi is coming into the lane. They look like they're going to go for an engage. Vi is coming in. Is she going to get Assault and Battery down? I'm not sure. Shen is probably not going to use his ultimate just because he's going to get stunned by the Renekton if he does it inside of him. Does look like we're just going to have a bit of a back off here. Corki has now hit level 6. Caitlyn is still level 5. Is Corki going to use his Massive Barrage to try and harass her out of lane? No, just looks like they're going to back off slightly. Looks like Ace and Pole just came out, so she just procced 6 as well. Thresh is very low right now.
Yeah, down bot lane, it was actually quite smart for Vi not to use Assault and Battery, because the last thing you want to do is to apply Assault and Battery onto someone and you guide right into them. We're actually going to go into a fight here with Zed and Shen are now chasing down Renekton. The death mark has been applied, the Shadow Dash does go down. Ignite onto Renekton, Renekton Dominus right now. Shen'll is down in, Stan United is in.
Wow, really, really well played by the Renekton there to just see his dominance. But Vi's coming in, she's going to try and proc the Volatile Spider. Everyone is chasing up here. Red buff is proccing. Ari uses her ultimate to try and get across, but I don't think she's going to get there in time unless she can land the taunt. No, she's just going to back off right now. The charm not being come out. Does look like they're going to take away the blue buff for their troubles though. So all in all, a bit of a win for Nottingham right now.
So that was very good fight for Nottingham right there. They managed to just turn that around from that Renekton away to die and managed to push out 3 members of Newcastle and then take an objective. That's what I was talking about when it came down to skirmishes. Who has the advantage right now? And as you can see, Nottingham did manage to turn that around and get some kind of objective out of that.
Yeah, Thresh is sticking around on really low HP right now, but Caitlyn is being completely bullied out of the lane by the Corki. Corki now on 71 CS next to the Caitlyn's 48. To be honest, we need to talk about these ultimates. Once that Ari completes her Zhonya's, Zed's going to have one target to ultimate, and that's Corki. Because once can't really ultimate the Renekton, Dominus counters it with the extra increased HP boost unless he's already quite low. Once Ari has that Zhonya, she'll completely counter his ultimate. So he's going to be left to try and target the Corki only. But Corki has Valkyrie to get himself away from a team fight when he's in trouble. So really, it's really decent pickups from the Nottingham team here, because all of them are quite anti Shed. It does look like Ace and Hole's coming out. I think Thresh is going to pay for his life with this. He's going to get
Solid Barry going to go down. Free kill.
Yeah, free kill right there. Zed just Thresh just backing on top of a ward. Not really sensible to be backing away in second side rushing your lane. Should have been a bit more safe on that low health. Had no idea where Vi was. They've got no vision on the map. Looks like they possibly could be gearing up for a dragon right here. Zed is heading down towards the area now. He's just going to take race. Would be sensible to start doing dragon. Doesn't like Vi wants to gear up for it, but she's going to head over towards the Ari. She's going to walk on top of her own ward and going to back away. So Ari doesn't know where she is at all.
Right there, it was very, very crucial for them to go for Drake as soon as they killed Thresh. They managed to they did have the number advantage, even though they didn't actually know. Oh, wait, actually, sorry, they did know about at least top lane. There is a ward in that tri-rush. They could have went straight onto Dragon and chanced their luck.
Yeah, now at least is gearing up to probably try and come and pink this dragon. She's going to walk over top of a ward, so everyone's going to know she's there. Looks like she's just going to be warding up the Wraith area, and I think they are going to be gearing up for a dragon right here, because Vi is currently in the top lane. Pink goes down, they know there's no vision, but the blue ward has been picking them up, walking towards that dragon area, so I think they know, but I don't think they're going to get there in time to contest it. And this is going to be a free dragon. First big objective of the game, going over to Nottingham. It does look like the stream has just died.
It's back online. It'll be back online in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
It should be back on. I don't know why it randomly died.
Stream randomly died here. It should be back on pretty. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, I honestly don't know what happened there.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We had a bit of a trouble with the stream. Looks like OBS giving a bit of crap. You didn't miss anything important. The dragon did go over to Nottingham right here, so gold advantage just being stretched out in terms of Nottingham, which is what they want at this stage of the game. They need to get to that mid-game phase, get these objectives and force some team fights. But right now they haven't taken a turret, and it's 12 minutes into the game. I would have expected some hard pushes in these turrets, but it doesn't look like they've had the opportunity so far. It's only 4 for 1, which, to be honest, is not the worst thing in the world for Newcastle.
No, definitely not. Having these objectives still up tower-wise relieves a lot of map pressure, and it means that they can safely stay within their own ranks and their own turrets to keep safe right now. But they do want to start pushing down towers and getting some global gold back, because if they don't and Nottingham do push for these towers, things are going to be really hard for Newcastle.
Yeah, it looks like they're going hard on the Ari, but she has Zhonyaed. Has she Zhonyaed a little bit too early? No, yes. The Dark Deathmark just gets completely negated, and Charm goes down. Oh, wow. Shen ultimate coming out on the Zed, but he's going to get away. So really good Charm and really good follow-up with the Elise Cocoon right there, but they didn't manage to get the Zed down, but that is going to be a free turret going over directly. He's choosing not to take it down. He's just going to proxy farm the wave, and Shen has had to waste his teleport. Is he going to be able to save this turret? Hector can go up and hit it once and just take it down, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. No, he's just going to back off, doesn't want to take that turret just yet. Odd decision if I was him, to be honest.
He just wants to try and get the...
Oh wow, Ari just going really hard onto that Zed with her ultimate. Elise following up with the repel, and her repel into felt spidling actually picked up the kill right there. Renekton is still proxy farming, wanting to take that turret just yet. Maybe they've got this blue buff that they want to take away, and then they're going to go and take that turret.
Well, right there, as you can notice, Renekton has 136 minions right now. It's a lot of gold and a lot of XP. He doesn't need to take the turret. He can just farm the wave out and just become a nuisance for Vi and Shen. And then when he feels like it,
take this turret.
Now they want to take the turret.
And now they're going to go. Shen shadows through the cross, but the cocoon lands really well. No, just minutes rest of the minute. Repel's going to come out. Is the Dominus going to finish him off? I don't think Elise wants to take away the kill, and the Dominus is just going to kill him. And take away that Shen. That's going to be pushing out the lane completely.
As I was going to say, they were going to go to the turret to try and take it down and kill Shen and push these objectives down. Although they got there faster than I did, so.
Yeah, really well played, knowing exactly what they're doing with their global objectives, and the bottom tower down at the same time. A big chunk of gold stretched out to 5.6k right now. Not good for the Newcastle team. They wanted to be at least even going into the mid game, and it does look like Zed is taking a bit of a beating in this mid lane too. So no lane is having a good time of it from Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely not. It's very difficult right now. Zed's having a hard time, bot lane having a hard time, even top lane, while being effective and stopping these his teammates from dying. Shen still lost his tower and is behind by over 40 CS top lane, so Renekton is becoming very, very scary with a Spirit Visage, and he will most likely go for a Sunfire Cape next. That's one scary crocodile.
Yeah, with that Spirit Visage, Coldenbeek is going to be doing that extra bit of healing on him, giving that ability to survive in teamfights a little bit longer. He also wanted to just do it to itemize specifically against the Shen. Looks like they just did a bit of a switcheroo around there. And Renekton just walking into that top lane and taking away the minions, pushing that lane out even more. Does look like they're going to be grouping up though, forcing these mid-game teamfights. Wow, Thresh going really hard, catches no one, Deathlight coming down onto him, he's going to flash away. Really well goes onto the Zed, everyone getting taken down really low. Vi ultimates onto the Ahri, but she's taking no damage whatsoever. Thresh ults to try and keep them away, and it looks like they're going to have a bit of a back off on either side. Both teams just respecting that the burst potential is still there from either side.
That was a very, very good team fight from both sides, not being able to give away a single kill right there while bursting ultimates from each other team. Now if you can see here, we're actually in mid lane and Newcastle's turret might actually go down. Corki and Ahri have a lot of siege potential. You've got the rockets, but you've also got Ahri's Orb of Deception is going to do a lot of damage to minion waves and catch people out very easily.
Yeah, and Dragon is up in 30 seconds. If they can get a second tier turret in this mid lane, while Renekton's coming down to try and take it and then take Dragon, this is going to be a huge mountain for Newcastle to climb, and that's a second tier turret going down the mid lane. Thresh's Oracle clearing out that jungle vision for the blue side Newcastle team, and it does look like everyone is giving up for a Dragon fight here. Are Nottingham going to concede this, or are they going to go straight for it? Up in 8 seconds, I'm not sure that Newcastle have the time in here, because Shen is heading toward the top lane, but his Stand United is available. No one is reacting to it. Dragon is spawned right now, and I don't think that Newcastle are going to contest it.
Newcastle don't want to contest a Dragon against a team who's very strong in skirmishes right now. Every ultimate on Nottingham is up, so if they were to actually go in for that, it was most likely going to be an ace, or at least many team members killed. So that was actually a very good decision from Newcastle, just to let the Dragon go, fight another day.
Right now it's a lose-lose situation for Newcastle, because if they don't contest it, they lose another 1,000 gold. If they do contest it, they're probably going to lose a couple of members of their team. It's extremely hard for Newcastle to get out of this situation right now, and Nottingham are playing it incredibly well. They are playing the Korean style of game, which is no mercy, take these objectives, get the global gold and 14 fights while you're that far ahead. And to be honest, Newcastle are going to have a hard time responding, because they're now 9k down at 18 minutes. This is going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah, definitely. At this point in the game, you need to have your morale on your team up. You wanna tell each other, yeah, it's going to be okay. Now we need to focus on what objectives we're going to go for next. Now, as you can see, they're just looking to farm up, push the waves out to stop these towers from going down, get some jungle EXP, so that they are on the same level as the enemy team, so that they can fight under a turret if need be.
Yeah, and that is the only way I see them coming back from the team fight right now. But Ari is looking towards building her Death by Grass now. She's picked up that Fiendish Codex. She's got that cooldown reduction, and she's got the extra AP. She's also got the Zonias. Corky's finished his Triforce, picked up a BF sword, hasn't finished his tier 2 boots yet, but he doesn't need to because he's just that far ahead. Zed, however, has only got a Brutalizer and probably about 3/4 of a Blade of the Ruin King. Jen has not yet finished his first Sunfire Cave. Vi hasn't even finished her jungle item, and Caitlyn has got a mishmash of items. Right now, there are no item thresholds hit by Newcastle, and several item thresholds hit by Nottingham. There's just no way. I just don't see them coming back right now, and I don't like to say it, but I just think that it may be over for Newcastle. Unless something special happens. Unless they really pull out the game. It looks like they're going to go for a 5-man turret dive on this by Lulu and Kaylin. Everyone is gearing up for it. Zed knows it's happening. Ward goes over. Everyone is aware what is going on right here. And I think they're just going to back off because Shen does have his stun United available. He's backing out just so he doesn't get stunned by the Renekton if worse comes to worse. Renekton is moving up. What is going to happen here? This is going to be explosive if it does happen.
It'd be very, very scary for Nottingham actually to do a tower dive, because if they tower dive, Shen's stand United will be up. Even though Renekton is near to Ruthless Predator, Shen to stop the teleport. If Shen were to get away from Renekton at any point to teleport, that's a huge problem for Nottingham, because that 4v4 turns into a 5v4 very quickly.
Yeah, so what Newcastle needs to do right now is dig in and just try and put them in these awkward situations where they don't. It looks like we've got a bit of an engage going down bottom. Caitlyn gets caught out by the Lulu ultimate, so she's going to be surviving right there. Shen ultimate's onto her as well, but it looks like Ari is taken really, really low. Everyone getting taken down and caught out right here. I think Nottingham got a little bit cocky right there. Deathmark went onto the Corky, he went down. Looks like Thresh is trying to get away. Everyone is backing off. Lulu catches the Glitter Lance Flash. Zed goes in with his Shadow Dash and manages to get the kill with an auto attack.
That is exactly the type of fight that they needed to get. They managed to catch out Ari, they caught out Corky. Renekton was nowhere near. As I said, Shen had to be there, and Renekton was nowhere to be seen.
And the first tower of the game coming over to Newcastle. This is a good amount of gold they're going to claw back in their favour, and Dragon is going to be spawning in the next few minutes, so they could pick up another objective here. However, the gold lead is still at 8k, so it's a big deficit to claw back, but more of those fights can form a comeback. Are we going to see a comeback here? Because that was an incredible fight for Newcastle, and it's exactly what they needed, especially for the morale boost, because I think they needed the morale boost right now.
Well, as they say in America, if you've played or seen Vulcan play, then you'll know that any game is to be turned around, and we could possibly see this happen.
Yeah, we'd like a bit of a Vulcan throw bargains, because it does always make an interesting game. Vi has been farming pretty well right now, but she's actually being out-farmed by the Elise, which is strange, because Elise had that much more early jungle pressure, but I think Elise has been taxing the lanes quite a lot. Vi is going to need to catch up in levels right here, because Elise is 2 levels above. Once Vi gets that second level ultimate though, she'll hit that level threshold, which makes her a little bit more potent in team fights. Looks like Ari's going really hard onto the Zed.
Whoa, very close.
Yeah, very close. She actually saved her Zonias for afterwards. Really well played. There was no one there to follow up. Shen's ultimate wasn't up. Lulu gets caught out as well by the Ari. That's some 2 kills going over to Nottingham. Wow, not what Newcastle needed. And it does look like they're going to siege this inner mid lane turret. Sorry, I think we had a bit of a audio problem with Space there. I just think he tried to talk, but nothing came out.
No, it's something that was said in the stream chat, and I lost it. So, I'm going to come back and compose myself a second. Alright, okay. So, as you can see right here, siege potential on Nottingham is huge right now. This is going to be a free turret, possibly for them. Salt Barry does go down.
Right now.
And
looks
down.
Like get caught out by the Dominus and the Ruthless Predator. He's going to get picked up by the Thresh, actually. Thresh picking up his first kill of the game. Everyone actually getting a kill on the Nottingham side right now. The only people alive right now is Zed, but Zed managed to pick up the Ari with a good Shadow Dash into his E, and he's going to keep trying to siege them off, but there's too many right here, and I think they're just going to back off. There is so much vision control of Baron for Purple right now. They could go back and try Baron. Yeah,
Nottingham right now, they want to go back and get their gold, or take Drake, then they want to try and go back. Although, they might actually try and catch out Zed!
With a Wow, really well played. Great hook from the Thresh. This guy is godlike right now. Zed tries to get away. It's repelled on top, and he's going to get taken down. Deathmark comes out. He's trying to take out the Corki before he goes down. Corki barriers, but he gets taken down by the Deathmark. Really, really nice clutch play from the Zed there to pick up a kill out of nothing. And it does look like there are 4 members of the blue team right up now, and 2 members down for the Nottingham. It does look like they're not going to try and Desperation Baron, they're going to go straight for a Dragon right now.
Yeah, they want to try and get back some gold into this game. As you've seen, there were team fights in which they managed to capture like key members of Nottingham out and managed to push down something. So right now we're going to get the Drake. We're going to try and get back into this game a little bit, slowly, piece by piece, and mount a comeback. But right now, as you can see,
we'll try and tone down Spacek's microphone. The next game, guys. We can't do it quite now. I think he's getting quite excited because this is quite an action-filled game. It's currently 7-13, so the gold lead doesn't really display the kill differences because there's only 5 kill differences, but the amount of global objectives that Nottingham have secured for themselves have put them so far ahead, and they have the CS advantage, bar the mid lane, because right now Zed is currently sitting at 210 CS to the Ari's 106. And Zed's doing okay. He's 4-4-1. He's picked up that last Whisper and Blade for the Ring King. He's actually going to be pretty potent coming into these team fights. He probably can solo people with that extra bit of armor.
Yeah, definitely. If you've noticed here, Renekton, Sunfire Cape, and then Randuin's next. As you can see, Vi, Zed, Caitlyn, auto attacks, auto attacks, auto attacks. Randuin's perfect item for Renekton to pick up for catching people out and staying on top of them with the Sunfire Cape and be able to shut down Caitlyn's attack speed.
Zed gets caught out by a death sentence. He's going to get taken down really hard by the Renekton. Shen Shadow dashes out, and I think they're just going to turn and burn for Baron right now.
Definitely. They managed to catch that catch and get there. Easy Baron, do you think? Can it be contested?
Yeah, this is going to be no, it can't be contested. There's an inhibitor down in the middle. They've lost their main damage dealer, the only guy that had any form of feeding on his team. These hooks from Iraq 19 have been godlike today. He has caught people out through blind hook, warded hooks. Really, really well played from that guy. And Elise is doing some serious work as well. 3-0-9. Look at that. Being involved in, well, 12 out of the 14 kills for Nottingham right now.
The entire Nottingham played very well. Newcastle just that early deficit. The 2 face checks from Caitlyn and Lulu changed the game, and possibly that's mostly the reason as to why they've been losing this game.
In the Worlds, Cloud9 said that level 1 lost in the game. Wow, Shadow Dash onto the Gurrit. It looks like they're going to try and go for a last ditch attack. Wild Growth onto the Shen. Renekton is going really hard. Zed is back up, but he's taken really low. Ari's going to get a charm across the wall and hit him, and he gets taken down. Vi is really low. Shen is really low. Caitlyn's at the back trying to do the damage. Looks like no one is going to get killed from the Nottingham team. They're going to go straight onto the Caitlyn. She's going to get completely destroyed by the Corki, but Renekton picking up the last hit. Ari uses her Zhonya's at the last moment, and I think they're going to turn and burn for the finish right here, because there's 30 seconds till anyone with any damage is up on Newcastle, and I think this is GG Nottingham.
Yeah, the creep army is here, and they're going to take down the entire base. This is GG right here. Yeah,
really well played, and they're going to just pick up the Lulu right at the end for the good will of it. And Ari actually surviving with a slither of health. GG to Nottingham. They have shown why they're one of our top 16. Really well played.
That was definitely a very, very strong performance by Nottingham right here. It is quite a bit of a shame that Newcastle just couldn't pull back from that early deficit. So we'll need to see the next game and see how Nottingham are going to show their strength again against their next opponents.
And if we do catch them on later in the tournament, guys, it will be the 3rd or 4th game of the night. So they are in that top half of the bracket, and that's the probably the half that we will be casting this entire game. We're going to take a short break now, guys, and we'll be back with the next game. We're not sure who it is yet right now. We are probably going to be casting the winners of Cardiff and Gloucester and KGVGS in Edinburgh. So it will either be Cardiff, Gloucester, Edinburgh, or KGVS. We'll find out who it is for you guys and let you know in Twitch chat. But that's our next game. Cheers, guys.
Alright, thank you very much, and we'll catch you in about 15 minutes time. So until then, see you guys later.